All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I'm Is There No One Else? And the video I'm bringing you today, we are going to go through what I've been running on my Stamina Necromancer, the build that I've been running for the Flames of Ambition, no proc, Cyrodiil, chicanery. Before we dive into it, I just wanted to say that this will be the same Sword and Board and 2H build I will be running across all stamina classes. I'm not going to change a whole lot. It's going to be the same gear, obviously different skill layouts because they're different classes. We all know this already. So I don't think I'm going to do like a Templar, Sword and Board and 2H build. So you can see this. You want to know what I'm running on my Templar? It's going to be this with Templar skills. So yeah, it'll make it a lot easier, make it a lot more efficient to do it this way. You guys have the information. This is what I've been running. So with that being said, guys, let us dive into it. Now, first of all, I'm running Lavafoot Soup and Saltrice. It's really nice. 5k max stam, 493 stamina recovery. We are a stage 3 vampire. And so because we are a stage 3 vampire, we have an increased cost of abilities. Having a ton of recovery on our food is nice. It gives us more than Dubious. It gives us more than Artaeum. Health recovery doesn't matter when you're stage 3. So yeah, I run Lavafoot for that reason. I also have Purifying Bloody Maras and Corrupting Bloody Maras. So I take one Corrupting to get to stage 4, one Purifying to drop down to stage 3, and away you go. Now, if you don't have these, I mean, they are cheap, but you can go to just Imperial Tents in Cyrodiil. Any Imperial Tent you can feed off of people, and that works just fine. That's what I was doing for a bit. My buddy Blap finally gave me some food. I forgot that it kind of existed. I was lazy. And yeah, as far as potions go, I'm running tripots, and I'm mostly running Essence of Weapon crit pots. Now, the reason we're running weapon crit pots is crit value is really nice. Malacat doesn't exist anymore. They lowered. It's not as easy to stack in a crit resist in Flames of Ambition as it was last patch. And also in the CP tree, there's a lot more crit modifying damage, which means that if you crit a lot harder right now. And so on a burst-based class like a Necromancer, I like stacking my crit. On top of that, it's not many Magicka dump skills that you have on a Stamina Necromancer. You have your Spirit Guardian, you have your armor buff, and I'm also running Race Against Time. I can run all three pretty well just with weapon crit pots. Now, there are some fights where I'm going to need tripots, and that's why I have them, but the weapon crit pots are what I'm mostly running. As far as the gear goes, we're running Sharpened Spriggans on the front bar. Spriggans is the best damage set in the game. Spriggans and Spinners currently in no proc Cyrodiil. They are worth getting. It's really easy to get. You can get the Spriggan Centurion Breaker off of a quest. There's no reason to not have Spriggans. So yeah, I'm running 3 jewelry, and then the front bar. I'm only front barring Spriggans right now. I'm back barring Critical Riposte. It's a crafted set. You get this in Velastris. It gives you critical resistance. Once again, dealing some crit damage and not taking crit damage is kind of the name of the game for being as tanky as possible this patch. I would go into all the math for this if you guys want, but honestly, people are going to get more confused. I may even confuse myself trying to explain it, but yeah, everybody has 50% base crit. In order to have 50% base crit, or to neutralize 50% base crit, you need roughly 3,300-ish impen. People aren't getting 3,300 impen. Not easily. And then you start stacking Race Against Time, start stacking the 25% you can get in the CP tree, which is another 35%. You start stacking things like Nightblade and Templar, which is another 45%. Maybe some Mundus stones, 55%. Like, all of a sudden, you can, even with 3k crit resist, you can still take a lot of crit damage because crit modifiers are so high. So that's going to be the gist of it. So I'm stacking Impen for that reason. If you guys don't want to stack Impen, don't stack Impen. If you don't think it's the best way to do it, don't do it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. One piece Bloodspawn, and then I'm running Impreg, stacking Impen. All Impen body pieces. Impreg is just a really nice set. I've tried a lot of sets this patch. I did the Fortified Brass thing. I did Beekeeper. I've ran Plague Doctor in the past. I think Impreg is the best. The best part about running Impreg is you can get it in light, medium, or heavy. So I can run medium Impreg and have a ton of Impen, and I get a little bit more weapon damage that way instead of going heavy Beekeeper with front bar Spriggans or whatever. So this is a 5-2 setup. I got 5 medium, 2 heavy. You can go 5-1-1, you can go 6-1, you can go whatever you want. But yeah, 1 Ballard, 1 Bloodspawn, 5 Impreg, front bar Spriggans, all infused weapon damage and chance on the jewelry. Character sheet, in case you're curious. 30k. I think about 30k health is where you want to get. I'm an Imperial. Necromancer has built-in health. With more prismatics, I could stack less points than this. But yeah, it works out pretty well. 4100 unbuffed weapon damage. Spell weapon crit is at 24%, which isn't bad. My resists are low, but everybody, it's not easy to stack resist right now, and so I don't think it's as big of a deal. Lava Foot, I am running the Thief Mundus for extra crit damage. Vampire stage 3. Now, I like the Thief. It buffs your healing. It also gives you more chances to burst. Now, I did try Leviathan, and I did try Mother Starro, thinking that stacking crit and having crit burst could be quite nice. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't as good as Spriggans. I just went the Thief route instead. And so the thoughts are, without the Thief and without the crit pots, I was running around with 17% crit chance. And to go from 17% to like 40 was a huge difference. So it's 36 right now. I did have a crit one piece also that got me just under 40. Doubling your crit chance from 17 to 36 is really nice. It was a very nice change for me. It was definitely worth doing. Now, how much crit do you want? I don't know. I think anything over 30 is actually quite nice. You can build it a bunch of different ways. But yeah, I think 36, it feels a lot better. If you go back and you watch a couple of the clips that I did, you can definitely tell on some of the fights where I have 17% crit chance, and I'm just not bursting the way I was bursting in other fights. And so I think it's valuable for that reason, but it's up to you. Everybody likes different things, but yeah, that's what I'm enjoying right now. Executioner, Mortal Coil, Rally, Blast Bones, Dizzying Swing, Dawnbreaker of Smiting. Then I'm running Spell Wall. I think Spell Wall is the best right now. There's a lot of snipers. There's a lot of sorcs casting crystal frags. It's really good. Other options that you can run, Frozen. You can run Pestilent Colossus or Ravenous Goliath. I think those are two good options. You can also run Undo. Also a good option. Pierce Armor on the back bar for the 9k pen. This is going to boost our damage quite a bit. This with Spriggans is going to put our pen over 20k. Around 20k. 20k pen with the weapon damage we have, with the crit value we have is actually quite nice. Spirit Guardian, Race Against Time for minor force. We're stacking a little bit more crit damage. This is also going to give us our major expedition. I tried Shuffle, guys. I tried Shuffle because you can run it in medium. I didn't like the lack major expedition. Although Shuffle is a very nice buff, although it's a very nice skill, sometimes this patch, you just get swallowed by the Zerg. That's the best way to say it. Like you just end up getting swallowed in the game, and yeah, I didn't like it so much, and so I was like, I'm gonna put Race Against Time on, and I was able to sustain it and all that, and yeah, you miss out. We have so many different forms of damage mitigation. The lack of Shuffle isn't going to be as important. Major Expedition and Minor Force is very nice. Summoner's Armor, Resolving Vigor. As far as the CP tree goes, I'm not going to dive into every single tree because all of our CP is different. I'm just going to tell you what passives I've chosen. I got Fighting Finesse, critical damage and critical healing done by 2% per stage, so 10%. Deadly Aim, increase your damage done with single target attacks by 2% per stage. So my D-Swing, my Executioner are both buffed by 10%. Now, I did have Biting Aura for a bit, but I tested Blast Bones, and Biting Aura or Blast Bones isn't buffed by either one of these. And I think it's because it counts as a pet. And so you don't get 10% more from either one. And so Biting Aura would only be buffing my Dawnbreaker, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but I just figured I'd allocate it somewhere else. So I got this. Blast Bones isn't getting buffed regardless after my tests. So this is for D-Swing and Executioner. This is for everything. And then my other two trees, Unassailable and Duelist rebuff. So single target, 10% damage mit, and AoE damage mit. Now, depending on what your CP is, guys, it's going to depend on what you want. In my opinion, you want to get these passives first. So you want to get to the 4 passives in your CP tree first before you start diving into all these other things. Now, I'm not going to go into all the ones that I have because there's really no point. If you think 1400 offensive penetration is valuable, put in points for offensive penetration. If you think that it's nice to have 4% more healing taken and 4% damage reduction, do that. These are all minor changes. I don't think there's really a point to go through all the ones and weigh the pros and cons. If you think it looks good, put it on, try it out. If you didn't enjoy it, switch it and try something else. It's free to respec right now. Figure it out. No. That's what I'm running over there. Over here, Survival Instincts, I'm liking quite a bit. While afflicted with a status effect, your core combat skills cost 5% less per stage. you're always impacted by core comp. Like, you're always going to be afflicted with a status effect outnumbered. You always are. Like, severely outnumbered, 25% cost reduction on dodge, roll, block, and all these other sorts of things comes in handy. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I have been trying slippery. I don't mind it. I don't know how I feel. It kind of builds into your sustain when you can just automatically break free. Sometimes the game doesn't work. There is a very nasty bug right now with break free not working. So just the fact that you're not going to get screwed over every 21 seconds is kind of nice. It's kind of nice for that reason. So yeah, if you don't have to CC break, it doesn't cost you stamina to do it. It all makes sense. I am running Juggernaut. While under the effects of crowd control immunity, you take 2% less damage per stage. When you're fighting outnumbered, you're getting CC'd off cooldown. And so every time you get CC'd, you have a 10% damage reduction. Now, I was stacking that with Hardened because this increased the duration of crowd control immunity by 3% per stage. So if you're running immovable pots, that double stacking is actually quite nice. I'm not running move pots, I'm running crit pots, so I took it out. And then I'm also running Rejuvenation. Grants 3 health, magicka, and stamina recovery per stage. So 150 health, magic, and stamina recovery. Now, the reason I have this in here, health recovery doesn't matter because I'm a vampire, but the magic and stamina recovery is quite nice when you're a vampire. And so I get to hit more race against times. I have a little bit more stamina recovery. It just allows me to build in damage. Now, if you guys don't like it, put in something else. We got a health bonus over here. We got an armor bonus over here. There's a bunch of other passives you could try. But those are the ones I tried. I did do the 10% damage mitigation while blocking. We have so much damage mitigation right now in a Necromancer, I didn't really feel like I needed it. But yeah, you could take, if you don't want to run Slippery because you don't like it, that's the one that I would do. While under the effects of crowd control immunity, increase the amount of damage you can block by 2%. I think that one's really good. But yeah, and then as far as over here goes, there's only a few you can choose from. And so the ones that I would do first, you want Breakfall. Reduce your fall damage taken by 7% per stage. Every time you're fighting outnumbered, there's a Templar with Javelin trying to knock you off a wall. It saved me a couple times, I'm not gonna lie. Rationer adds 10 minutes to the duration of any food eaten or drink per stage, so you get 30 minutes more on your foods. If you're cheap, this will come in handy. The first one that I always do is Steed's Blessing. Increases your out of combat movement speed by 0.4% per stage. So you get 20% more movement speed while out of combat. Very, very valuable. Definitely worth slotting. That's the first thing I would do. Liquid efficiency is nice if you don't want to. If you have expensive potions or poisons, this is actually very nice. But I went up here and I did Gifted Rider for the 10% more movement speed, mount speed, and then improves your mastery with mounts, removing all stamina costs outside of combat. Sometimes you're riding a very long ways, and some of my characters don't have max stamina mounts, and sometimes you run out and that you just don't have to worry about it. If you don't like that one, just put it in here, liquid efficiency. There's not many choices. Most of the other stuff doesn't really pertain to PvP. So yeah, that's the build. This is more or less what I've been running in all the different videos. Different iterations, obviously. Different Mundus stones, different one pieces, different food, different potions. Like just slightly different, but more or less the gear is the same. Yeah, you can make your own adjustments how you see fit, but that's what I'm running. And this is more or less what I'll be running if I'm running Sword and Board on any stamina class. So you guys can look at this and you can be like, okay, well, that's what else would run. There we go. Now, I know a lot of this gear right now is expensive, guys, okay? So I wanted to provide a potential alternative for you. If Spriggans is just way too expensive because people bought it all up and they're flipping it for way too much, and Impregnable is impossible to find because it's a unicorn right now, I mean, just run like Hundings and Shacklebreaker, or run Hundings and Fortified Brass. Like, craft Fortified Brass, adjust your CP. What I would do is you can craft Fortified Brass, and then you go into the CP tree right here, and you go down to Staving on Death, and you add critical resistance right here. So with all impen with this, it should get you up to about 2800 impen. It's not a bad option. So Fortified Brass with this would actually make you a little bit of a thick boy. If you want to just go big boy damage, run like Shackle, Hundings, and away you go. So yeah, that's the video. If you guys have any questions or comments, as always, guys, please provide them in the section below. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.